All right, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for today's new International Student Orientation. We appreciate your time and joining us. If you're not able to make it, however, this will be available on YouTube after the fact, and we'll send out the link to anyone who was not able to attend or anyone who is having technical issues. We're going to go ahead and get started. First, I would like to introduce Associate Vice President for Global Affairs, Amber Brignoli, who will give you a brief welcome and then get our orientation going.
Okay, thank you, Hank. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on what part of the world you are joining us from. We are aware that some of our international students aren't able to make it to campus yet, but we are so pleased that you have chosen West Virginia University as the site of your continuing education. As Hank said, I'm the Associate Vice President and Executive Director, long title I know, of Global Affairs at WVU. Global Affairs, or OGA, as it's known on campus, supports all of the international efforts at the university. You're going to be hearing from some folks who oversee one of our units that you will work most closely with during your time here, our Office of International Student and Scholar Services, or ISSS. So obviously one of the most important things that we will do for you while you are with us is help you answer any immigration concerns that you may have and make sure that you maintain your status. This is definitely an interesting time to be at school here in the US or even attending a US university if you are still abroad. We've had, in addition to the pandemic that's affecting all of us globally, which I think WVU is doing an exceptional job in responding to and dealing with. We are also about to install a new president of the United States, and I'm sure some of you are aware of the incidents that have been taking place around the country revolving around that transition of power. In America, we truly value a peaceful transition of power, and I firmly believe that that is what's going to happen next week, past events aside. But this is definitely a historic time for our planet, for our country, for our state in many ways. I never was an international student, though I have lived abroad, but I am from a very small city in the southern part of West Virginia and was one of the first in my family to earn an advanced degree and to actually leave home to attend college and not stay in my parents' house. Many of the students that you will encounter at WVU, again, though they are not international students, they're the very first in their family to attend college. They are the very first in their family to pursue an advanced degree or to pursue a non-working class job. And so we're all facing different challenges and different obstacles. And OGA is here to help you, but as a WVU student, there are many offices at West Virginia University that are here to help you. Some of their services may be unfamiliar to you, depending on your cultural beliefs and your backgrounds. But we provide mental health services, physical health services, emotional support, free tutoring services, and many, many others. And I encourage you to take advantage of all of them, even though they may be a little strange or unfamiliar to you. Additionally, which may be different from your cultural perspective, at WVU and in all US colleges and universities, you are encouraged to speak with your faculty and ask them questions. It is completely appropriate at the end of a Zoom session, if the lecture is virtual, or if the class is in person, to go up to a faculty member, leaving appropriate social distancing, of course, and ask them questions about the material. Let them know if you're struggling. Again, I understand in some cultures, that may be unacceptable. It may be inappropriate to ask a full professor or distinguished scholar a question face-to-face. But here it is not only acceptable, it is encouraged. We also encourage you to try and solve all of your problems at the lowest level. If that's an academic problem, again, that means the professor is your first point of contact if you have any questions. And then you work your way up through the chair, the dean, etc. This allows you to build relationships with other people on campus. And again, it may be challenging if you have to do it virtually or via email, but we are all here for you. There are literally thousands of people at this university whose job it is to help you succeed. I mentioned we're about to see a new transition of leadership in the United States. Our incoming Vice President, Kamala Harris, is actually the daughter of two students who studied in the US as international students. When she accepted the position as vice president-elect back in November, she stated that America is a land of opportunity, and it truly is. It has always been, and that is how I see it, as the granddaughter of an Italian immigrant. There are so many wonderful opportunities for you to take advantage of while you were at WVU, and I encourage you to not only take them, but to seek them out. Be uncomfortable while trying new things and expanding your boundaries. You will learn about yourself. More importantly, you will learn many things, but more importantly, you will learn about yourself. We have a saying that it is a great day to be a mountaineer wherever you may be. And COVID has caused us to see that phrase in a new light, because we truly do have mountaineers around the world, and we're interacting with them in new ways every day. So I welcome you to your first day as a mountaineer. I hope to get to know you through your time here. But remember, wherever you may be and wherever in time you may go, you will always be a mountaineer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Brignoli. Next up, we have Andy Patrick, who is the Assistant Director for International Students and Scholars Services. Andy is going to have a presentation to share with you all and go over some details about the services that we offer within International Students and Scholars Services. So please give him a welcome and go ahead, Andy, take it away.
Thanks, Hank. Welcome everyone to WVU. We're very happy to have you on campus or remotely right now. My name is Andy Patrick. I'm the Assistant Director in our Student Services. Many of you may see my name or our dedicated staff's names on your I-20s or DS 2019s came from our office. We work hard every day to make sure that you are maintaining your status and helping you along the way. Another one of my roles on campus is to serve as your international student advocate as well. And I'll explain a little bit more about that role today, but I can best sum it up as I'm like your compass on campus. When you're not sure where to go or where to turn, you always have someone within our office to contact, and I can help direct any support that you may need. I'm going to take a moment here, if you'll pardon me, just to pull up my presentation for you. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about our services that we offer on campus. It's going to look a little different this semester since we are remote. And here we go. So you should see on the slides here our building. This is Puritan House. This is where our office is. It used to be the former president of the university's house. It's a historic building, very beautiful, very old, and definitely has a lot of personality. We are very excited to have you take part in coming to our office to visit our staff. But for now, we are working remotely, mostly. Most of the staff is working either from home or from other areas to keep us safe during the pandemic. And we appreciate your understanding during this time, but it won't be forever. We're hoping soon that we can get back to campus when it's safe to do so. We do want to let you know that we do have certain services available remotely. However, the in-person, the phone services are suspended. So if you do call the office, you may get a message asking you to email us. That is the best way for you to get a hold of us in our office. We do have student workers, our front desk staff, that will be in the office. If you do need to walk in and just have a general question, they'll direct you towards some of our support services. And we also have document pickup. So if you do need to pick up some documents, our advisors will work with you. They're wonderful staff that will help you along and let you know when you can pick up those documents or what you need to do. But most of their work right now is done remotely through email. So if you do reach out to them, that's the preferred method during this time. So we appreciate your patience with that. A couple other things that you'll need to know about our services. We mentioned email. We do have different units within our office. We have our students unit that handles a lot of the F1 and J1 visa services. We have our scholars unit as well. We have sponsored students. We have wonderful Tina and Cindy in our sponsor student office. If you have a sponsor or work with a sponsor, you can reach out to them. And we also have our Global Affairs Administration. It's our overarching unit within the Puritan House and within our Global Affairs unit. So please reach out to any of us. If you don't have the right unit, that's okay. We forward email to each other, and we'll make sure it's routed appropriately to help you out. One thing I do want to recommend, since we're using email a lot, our walk-in services are limited. We do get lots of emails, so please be patient if you do reach out to us. We ask that you give us about 48 hours at the most. We try to prioritize emails to answer urgent emails. But if it's something that's not urgent, we ask to give us about 48 hours to answer that. And please note that sending multiple emails will slow things down a little bit for us. And if you also send the same email to multiple people, it could slow down the processes as well. So I assure you that email sent, it's being looked at, and we will make sure that we get to your request as soon as possible. A couple other things I want to draw your attention to is we do have a website dedicated to helping you out with any types of requests or anything that you may need. A picture here is what the front page looks like. The web address is there for you to go to. I really highly encourage you to take a walk around the website, get familiar with it. A couple things that I circled that I want you guys to pay attention to is the request link off to the far right side. That's where you're going to make some requests about maintaining your status or things that you need. We also have sites dedicated to understanding the rules and regulations of our F1 and J1 students. I highly recommend that you read through that. Take 5-10 minutes, relax, sit back and read a little bit and understand some of the rules and regulations that govern maintaining your status. You can also request an appointment with an advisor. These are for more complicated issues that may need face-to-face or phone conversations. Most of the work that we do can be handled through email quickly. We can go into our system and communicate with you. But if you believe that you have something complicated that you want to reach out to an advisor for that can't be answered through email, you can request an appointment with that advisor. Please only request an appointment with one advisor. So if you'll see the times available when you make a request or on our website. Choose a time that's best for you and wait for that advisor to reach back out to you. It does slow down our processes and kind of confuse things if multiple advisors that are working remotely differently are receiving the same request. They'll often try to reach out and things kind of can get confusing. So reach out to one advisor at a time that's best for you, and that advisor will reach back out to let you know how best to communicate with you about your issue. Inside our office, it's empty now, but we're hoping that in the future it's full of you and us coming back to campus. And this is a place for you to come to relax, to know that we're here for you. If you do need anything, if you do have questions, anything that can't be handled through email, you can certainly stop in. A couple other services that we offer to you to keep in mind are social security letters. If you're looking to work on campus, you can work part-time up to 20 hours a week on campus. Also good standing letters. If you're looking to go to the DMV to get a driver's license, we can do good standing letters for you as well. Travel signatures. Those travel signatures are needed for re-entry. If you do travel and come back into the US, we always like for you to check with us, especially if that signature is more than 6 months old. We like to make sure we do a check-in with you. You can replace an I-20 if it gets lost or damaged. You can update addresses or other contact info. We want to remind you that if you are looking for an apartment or change an apartment, that a regulation requires you to update your address within 10 days of it changing. So please make sure you update that with us. And that will also help with some of our mailing of documents to you and making sure that we have the correct address. One thing I do want to remind, things do happen. You might look into reducing a course load. However, please remember, as F1 and J1 visa holders, you must maintain a full course load. That means 12 credits for undergraduate students, and in most cases, 9 credits for graduate students. Do not drop below those credit numbers without speaking to someone in our office first and then being authorized for a reduced course load. You must have authorization from us first before dropping those courses. If you need that reduced course load for any reason during your time here, please reach out to us and communicate to us and plan early. Let us know as soon as you are thinking that you cannot stay within that full-time status for a good reason. Those reasons include academic struggle during your first semester, a medical reason, Please make sure that you communicate with us if you are having that type of struggle, and we will certainly help you out. Extending your program as well. Sometimes you may need an extra semester to complete a program, and that would require you to reach out to us to ask about extending your I-20s program end date. We ask that you do this early. You don't wait till, right at the last week before your end date. Please reach out to us this semester that's ending to communicate to us, and we will certainly guide you in that process. Couple takeaway points. Please remember, you are responsible for maintaining your visa status and knowing the rules and regulations. When you sign your I-20, you're stating that you understand those regulations. So it's highly recommended that you go over those laws and regulations that we do have on our site and ask questions when needed. We are here to help you as well. Make sure that you also understand too that you need to take an active role in maintaining your status. Communicate to us, make requests early as much as possible. Our office does process requests. It takes about 15 business days at the most. We have peak times throughout the year where it may be busier than others. You may have requests completed earlier times. However, our standard practice is about 15 business days. So if you're thinking about, are they working on this? What's the status update on it? Please look at your calendar and make sure you count 15 business days. That means weekends and holidays are not going to count, but we try to complete them as efficiently and as early as possible. But if you do have concerns, just let us know. A couple of things that I want to make you guys aware of that's on campus and that I direct support for is if you have issues relating to personal needs, I can serve as your advocate for that and help you. I work with various offices. Some of them include the care team for special circumstances that may arise, the Mountaineer Hub, which deals with financial issues, the Office of Student Conduct. If you happen to reach out, if they're investigating an issue or want to talk to you about an issue, they may contact you, and you can certainly reach out to me if you need help understanding anything that they are communicating to you. If you receive a notice of a charge or a question to come and meet with them, if you need representation, somebody that you need to advise and talk you through this, I can help you out with that. I cannot act as a lawyer. We do have services on campus for that. However, hopefully none of you will be in any type of trouble. But if you do have anything that comes from the Office of Student Conduct, I can be a first contact for you as well. The Career Center is our service on campus to help with emotional and mental well-being. So if you are feeling stressed or you need someone to talk to, I can help you towards those services as well. And we have a lot of campus and community engagement organizations. I'm going to take a moment to highlight a few of those and give you some websites on these slides. And certainly this will be available later, but I want to make sure that you guys are aware of these types of services on campus. For personal opportunities, you're not alone. The Campus Community Life website offers a variety of services from roommate searches and help to if you have problems with leases, legal help, or just need special care and attention for a certain problem that arises, you can reach out to the care team there. We have student health on campus, located on our Evansdale campus. If you're feeling sick, don't forget that we do have health services on campus. There is a place called the Rack that also provides non-perishable food items to those in need. If you were like me, sometimes in undergrad, you didn't have a lot of extra cash on hand and may need some extra food items, don't be afraid to reach out to the Rack, and they have plenty of food and supplies for you there. Well WVU offers a lot of different services on how to maintain your health and well-being. College is a stressful time, so don't be afraid to reach out to them if you do need something or do need support or help. As mentioned before, the Mountaineer Hub, if you have a problem with a student account, a bill, want to talk about scholarships, want to talk about financing, anything to do with maintaining your student account, the Mountaineer Hub is the place to go to. They also, in their office, is the registrar, which oversees transcripts and academic reporting. You can also reach out to them if you have, need support about using the Campus Handshake, which is our online work ability to find work, just like Indeed.com or Monster.com, a place where you can find work on campus. They can talk to you a little bit through that process and help you as well. One other thing that I want to mention is you should probably try to utilize our academic resource centers. We all need help with tutoring. We all need guidance and advice, and they're staffed by students and faculty that will help you through issues and problems within your classes. And tutoring is free. Reach out for support if you need it. Right now, they're holding appointments virtually. Most of the major subjects are covered. They also have Eberly Writing Studio. I realize many of you, English may not be your first language, and you may need help editing papers or looking over for grammar mistakes or making sure that you cite correctly. I highly, highly recommend that every single one of you utilize the Eberly Writing Studio before turning in any type of document if you feel that it might be an issue of plagiarism, or if you need help citing, or you just want to help forming your paragraphs and your sentences for any type of written assignment. They're a wonderful group to work with. I mentioned plagiarism. I do want to talk a little bit about that. We do have an academic integrity office on campus. Plagiarism is the willful stealing of ideas to benefit yourself. In America and in American universities, it's something that's taken very seriously. So if you're not sure how to cite someone else's work or someone else's ideas, or you're in doubt if you're using something by someone else and you're not sure what to do, please ask. The Academic Integrity Office you can reach out to. You can go to Eberly Writing Studio. They'll certainly help. But please do not steal ideas or work together on something without getting permission from your professor or someone first. You could have a letter from the Office of Academic Integrity if they do find that you willfully stole someone else's ideas. So please take that seriously. Please know that we're here to advise on that if you have any questions. The Career Center, I mentioned that before. They can do individual counseling with you if you are feeling stressed or just need someone to talk to. They also have group counseling. We actually have a representative from the Career Center who works with international students directly on international student issues. So if there's something that does come up that you want to talk about, please reach out to them. They also have workshops on enhancing academic skills, learning skills, coaching, stress management. They're a wealth of information for students wanting to make sure that they maintain their health and well-being on campus. So please use them as a resource as well. There's also many other academic and professional opportunities. As Dr. Brignoli mentioned, your professors and your academic advisors, if you're having trouble in your classes, they're your first stop. Please, look to develop a relationship with them, ask questions, visit them after class in their office hours if you're struggling. It's certainly something that will help you not only academically, but maybe later on making contacts for a future career. Career services will also help if for future interviews or finding work or setting yourself up after graduation. So please utilize their resources as well. We also have a site dedicated to over 500 different clubs on campus. Get involved, meet people, and don't just join groups that identify with your own culture, own group. Yes, that's great and wonderful, and please seek those out for that sense of community. But we also encourage you to get to know different groups on campus and sample the wealth of community and diverse perspectives that we have on campus. And the Office of Student Engagement will help you identify those clubs and activities that you would like to join. And a lot of them meet virtually as well, with plans to meet in person or safely meet outside once you're able to do so. So please check those out. And finally, please check your portal and Mix accounts. Stay informed. We email your Mix for information. We expect that you're checking that. So my advice is to check it every day. Categorize emails, respond to emails from our advisors or other offices. That's really important that you have timely responses and to check that every day. And of course, just to remind you as I wrap up, if you're not sure where to go, let me be your compass, let me be your guide, stop in, email me, whatever you need to do, I'll point you in the right direction while you're here. Thank you all for your time, listening today. We're certainly glad to have you here. I'm going to turn it back over to Hank, who's going to introduce our other Assistant Director for Compliance, Chris Bennett. He has a lot of wealth of information for you to know about maintaining your status as an international student. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you for that great presentation. And again, if there's any part of this that you're not sure about or anything you want to reference later, we will have this full presentation available online for you to view afterwards. So the other thing I want to remind everyone is if you have any questions or if you have any concerns or thoughts, as we listed in the email, please shoot a question over to globalaffairs@mail.wvu.edu. We will be answering those and going through those at the end of the session. So again, that's globalaffairs@mail.wvu.edu. So now it is my privilege to be able to introduce to you, as Andy mentioned, Chris Bennett, who is the Assistant Director in International Students and Scholar Services, overseeing compliance. So Chris also has a presentation, and Chris, whenever you're ready.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I have a quick presentation for you about being an international student. So being an international student is rough. You're away from home. You miss your mom. You miss your familiar food. You miss your friends. You have a million classes to take that are sometimes very, very tiring. And you have to follow a bunch of new laws. By the way, this is a diagram of becoming, how to become a lawful permanent resident or a green card holder. So you can see it's not exactly the most friendly system, but there are a lot of great things too. You get to meet a lot of new and interesting people. You have lots of fun opportunities. There are activities everywhere, especially, hopefully, after the pandemic is over with. And we're here to help you make your experience, your transition to WVU the best possible experience. The goal of this presentation that I'm going to give you today is to help you remember a couple important items while you're here in the US as an international student. First, immigration documents, we're going to go over those. Then we'll go over a couple rules and regulations. And lastly, kind of reiterate some of what Andy had mentioned, my colleague Andy, about Global Affairs Services. So firstly, immigration documents, ones that you should be intimately familiar with, hopefully at this point, but if not, we'll go over them with you. The first one being your passport. While you're in the US as an international student, you are required to make sure your passport is always valid. The passport, of course, you should know at this point is to help you, is one of the documents that you use to travel from country to country. Next, the I-901 fee. Most of you remember paying this very expensive, hefty fee. If you're an F1 student, that was around $350. If you're a J1 student, I believe it's $220. So having a receipt for this is important for travel as well. Your visa, you should have a visa that is valid for F1 or J1. It varies from country to country for how long the validity is. For some countries, it can be very short. For some, it could be valid for the entire time that your I-20 was issued for, or your DS-2018 was issued for. And one other comment on the visa before I go forward is that even though it may have a short validity period, it's okay as long it's only used for entering the US. It can expire while you're in the US, and that's totally fine. Another one is for visa, or sorry, for your I-94. Note, you can Google I-94 and you can find this online. It should be the first item that comes up. But your I-94 is your official arrival departure record. Every time you enter the US, I strongly suggest that you print this off. It shows your status, being F1 while you're in the country, or J1, and it should have an admit until date of D/S, meaning duration of status. If it has a date there, make sure that you let our office know. You can send us an email at ISSS-students@mail, the one that we had given earlier. Let us know and we will help you get this fixed, because you don't want to have a date there. You don't want to expire while you're in the US. Then you could be considered unlawfully present. The next one is your I-20 or DS-2018. Again, our office as Andy mentioned, issue these for you. You should get yourself very familiar with these, as anything that's listed on them, you need to make sure that it's always kept up to date, and that's something that our office will help you with. As long as in your full-time studies, this is the main document that allows you to stay in the US. So for rules and regulations, when I was coming up with this presentation, I asked myself, how do I boil all of these rules down? Because it's going to be hard for you to remember after today. What's the main thing that you need to keep in mind? And then I had the light bulb moment that everybody has. If you remember this one rule, you'll know when to seek out our help. Hint, why did you come to the United States? Hopefully your answer is to study full-time. The underpinning rule, the reason for your F1 or J1 visa for you to enter the US is to make sure, or is for you to enter the US to be in person to study full-time. So the one rule that rules them all, here's my joke, Lord of the Rings. Anything that prevents you from studying full-time and in person goes against your reason for coming to the US to study. So again, you came to study in the US. Make sure that that is your driving reason for being here in the US. So full-time in-person studies is good, and not full-time, not in-person studies, not so good. Actually, let me go back one sec. So, and there are exceptions during the pandemic. For those of you who have a new I-20 who are entering the US for the first time, the first time on your new I-20 or your DS 2018, please keep in mind that you do have to be enrolled in at least one in-person class. These are the pandemic exceptions that are currently going on, but normally speaking, it's kind of reversed. The majority of your classes should be in person. So some other examples of how this this rule works. Thinking about the one rule, I'm having trouble keeping up with my first semester because I have too much homework. Talk to your academic advisor. Consult some of the services that Andy mentioned earlier, but you need to remain enrolled full-time unless you have permission from our office. But there are services out there that can help. In your third semester, for example, you went skiing over winter break and you broke your body, you can't go to class. So you're homebound because you're in a full body cast. We can help with this. You need to, of course, always call your academic advisor. This would be an example where we could help you with a reduced course load, but it needs to be approved again by our office first. Another example, I got caught cheating, plagiarizing. For example, like Andy had mentioned, and my professor's giving me an F. Unfortunately, an F in a class is not a reason to drop the class. So again, you need to talk to your academic advisor and our office about any approval for a reduced course load. School's too expensive. I think I did not pay. Unfortunately, school is very expensive in the US, and we understand that, but payment to school is a requirement. If you drop or you don't pay your tuition, you could be dropped from classes, which would then make you out of status. My midterm grades came back and I'm getting a D in math. My friend thinks I should drop the class and take it next semester for a DF repeat. One of the things we hear so often in our office is, my friend said, please ignore your friend's immigration advice. Generally speaking, your friend does not know better than you do about immigration matters. So make sure you reach out to us before you, again, drop classes, or and also reach out to your academic advisor about what can be done. You want me to go to class every day? Maybe I'll just do my classes online. Again, like I said, during the pandemic, there are some exceptions about online classes, but yes, your in-person classes you should be attending. It's only going to benefit you in the end. You're going to do better in the class, so definitely go to your class every day. So our services for Global Affairs, as Andy mentioned, we have several offices within Global Affairs. The one that Andy and I work for are International Services, International Students and Scholar Services. And but just to remind you, we do love our students. We work hard every day to make sure that you can do great at WVU. We offer advising when something is coming between you and your full-time studies. We advise students on employment opportunities, internship opportunities. We advise students on all of these kind of matters. And while you're a student and after you graduate, we are here for the long haul. If you have a sponsor, one of our sister units, the sponsored students unit, will work with you to provide you additional services, what you need for that. We offer programming and activities all year long. Of course, during the pandemic, some of them are going to be a little different, but we do offer activities. And we coordinate with other campus offices to make sure you aren't overlooked. We don't want offices to only focus on domestic students, so we work hard to make sure that international students are always included. And we're even there if worst case scenario, you forget that one rule. If we can help you, we definitely will. So to summarize this third part, just as a reminder, we are here to help. One last minute reminder, don't forget, so some of the major to-do list that you, the things that you need to do as a new international student is you can visit the website listed here at ieee.wwu.edu/students/onboarding. This kind of is a list of to-dos to get you ready to start and begin classes. And the next thing, make sure that you do CVIS check-in. The link is on our website as well on this main onboarding page, but make sure that you do check in. You'll need all of those immigration documents that you'll need to upload for us. And it is a requirement. It is letting us know where you live. As Andy mentioned, you have to let us know within 10 business days of where you're living. So all of these things are kind of done through the check-in process. It also allows us to see if there's any issues with your I-94 and helping you along the way. So make sure that you do CVIS check-in. And I think I will hand it off back to Hank.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Chris, so much. Thank you to Andy and to Dr. Brignoli as well. So we're at the conclusion of our orientation program where we've gone over this. And again, we know it's a lot of information, and that's why we'll have it available to you all on YouTube after the fact. We'll send that link out probably next week. By the time we get the video edited and uploaded, it may take some time. So we've been monitoring the email account. We've had a few questions come in that we've been able to answer directly to reply, and we don't have any that are pending at this point. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We want to take a moment to thank you all for attending. Thank you for taking time out of your day. We know some of you are here, some of you are far away. And so we try and schedule this at a time when everyone can make it and it can work for everyone. But again, we will have a audio and video recording available afterwards. So again, thank you all. Welcome to the Mountaineer family, and we look forward to seeing you soon.